Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to Crazy Kids Coding Classes. Today we're going to learn how to make it look like your character is running through a level. And the background is going to be scrolling as your character is running, which will create an optical illusion to look like you're actually running through the level rather than that background just holding still. So think kind of like old school Mario, okay? So before we get started, just a couple of reminders. Underneath the YouTube video in the video description, there is a link that will take you to a page that looks just like this. So you'll have like the Kirby sprite and the same background. You'll have all the same things that I have to work with. So if you want to follow along with this video, go ahead and pull that link open. I suggest having one screen where you're watching me on a YouTube video and a second screen where you're building your own project and you can follow along at the exact same time. Okay. The second thing I'd like to remind you about is we do have live coding classes held over Zoom. So if you're really interested in joining a class where you can ask questions, you can meet other kids that are into coding, check out the link for that below the video if you'd like to ever join us for a live class. And then the third thing is we do have a Facebook page where you can follow along when we release new videos, and you can post links to your projects that you make so people can check those out. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So you can see we've got kind of a curvy theme today. Now the key is having your backdrop an actual sprite that can move around. Now, if you have a backdrop over here on stage, like we've done in some of our older videos, if you've done those with me, maybe your backdrop looks like this or something. Maybe you've gone into the Scratch library and picked out a backdrop. Well, that cannot move. It's going to hold still the entire game. So we actually don't want that today, okay? So I'm actually going to come over here and delete, okay? You want a background that is its own sprite that you can actually drag and drop and move around. Now, what we want to do is we want to create some code to make that backdrop scroll along from left to the right side of the screen, make a copy of itself, and then repeat. So kind of think like stairs on an escalator, just going continually over and over and over again. That's what we're trying to do with this background sprite, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So, of course, we're going to need a green flag. So go to your yellow event circle and pull out that green flag. And then as soon as our game begins, we want our background to go right to the center. I don't want it over here and I don't want it over here. I want it right in the center. Whenever you want something in the center, the coordinates for that are 0, 0. So go to your blue motion circle. Your fifth block down is your go to X and Y block, and just set both of those to 0. Okay, let's test it out. Hit your green flag and see if that backdrop just moves to the center there. Okay, after the game begins, we want the backdrop to start making a clone of itself. Last week, we made a really cool class where I taught you a lot about clones. So you can go check that out if you're not quite sure what a clone is, but it's basically just a copy. So go to your orange control circle and scroll down to the bottom. The second block up from the bottom says create a clone of myself. All right, now after this backdrop sprite makes a copy of itself, we want it to glide along the screen and move to the left. So go to your blue motion circle, grab the seventh block down that says glide 1 second to X and Y. Now, the numbers we're going to put here, our Y number can stay the same. 0 is perfect. It means that's how high up or how down low is this sprite. We just want it in the center, which is 0. So that's good. But X is the axis that goes side to side. So we want this thing to move super far to the left. So we're going to put a negative 464 here. Okay. And then I want it to glide around about 3 seconds. That means it's going to take 3 seconds to get across the screen. In a minute, if you want to speed that up or slow it down, you definitely can. All right, after it glides across the screen, we want it to hide. So go to your look circle, scroll down to the bottom and count up 6 blocks from the bottom, and that's where you've got your hide block. Okay, now we need one more line of code for this to work properly. Go ahead and turn your flag on. You can see that one copy of that background. Oops, you know what we forgot? Now when I'm clicking my green flag, nothing's happening. I forgot to add a show block. So in your look circle, right above the hide block, you've got your show block. Put a show block right underneath the green flag. Okay, now it's working a little better. Now that scrolls along and then it stops. So I need to figure out how to make that keep repeating. So go to your orange control circle, scroll down to the bottom and count up 3 from the bottom. And you've got a block that says when I start as a clone. So right here, we told the background to make a copy of itself. Now over here, we're going to tell that copy what we want it to do. Okay, go to your blue motion circle, get the 5th block down, go to X and Y. Now the numbers you want here for X are 473. That means it's clear over on the right side so far that it's actually off of the screen. You can't even see it. And then you can just leave Y set to 0. All right, now go to your look circle and grab another show block. Remember, that's down towards the bottom. And then we need to get a new glide block. So go to your blue motion circle. The 7th block down is your glide block. And the numbers you're going to want here are just 0, 0. Okay? Now, over here we have our background gliding at 3 seconds. Let's just put a 3 here as well. We're going to keep these numbers all the same. So glide 3 seconds to 0, 0. All right, then we need another clone. So go to your orange control circle, scroll down to the bottom, and the 2nd block up from the bottom says create a clone of myself. Okay, you've only got 2 blocks left. Hang in there. After that 2nd clone comes out, we want it to glide again. So go up to your blue motion circle, grab the 7th block down. Let's do glide 3 seconds again so that it's always continuously gliding at 3 seconds. And then the numbers you'll want here are X, negative 464, and the Y is just staying at 0. Okay? After that glides across, we want to delete the clone. So go to your orange control circle and grab the very bottom block. Okay, let's go ahead and test this out. So turn your green flag on. And now look, that background is just scrolling over and over and over again. And you can see that it's kind of like stairs on an escalator, right? Pretty cool. Now, if you want to speed it up or slow it down, everywhere that says glide 3 seconds, you can change that. Just make sure all the numbers are the same. So let's say I wanted to go really slow. I'm going to change all those to a 1. Really fast. The lower the number, the faster it'll go. So at a 1, look how fast my background's going now. If I want to slow it down, maybe I'll turn those all up to 5s. Okay, now it's taking 5 seconds to scroll. All right, I'm going to leave mine set to 3 because I think that is a great speed, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, now you're probably going, but how does that work for my game? Well, let's go ahead and get our player actually moving, okay? So go to Kirby, your Kirby sprite. And then you might need to turn on the little eyeball button so that he shows up. And if you can't see him, it's probably because he's hiding behind the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out a green flag. And then in the look circle, if you scroll down to the bottom and count up 5 blocks, there's a little thing that says go to front layer. That's going to bring Kirby to the front. I think he was kind of hiding behind that backdrop. Okay, so we're going to bring Kirby to the front layer every time we click on the green flag. Now, let's figure out where we want him to be. He's not going to move left and right today. He's just going to jump. So I kind of want him over here on the left side of the screen. I'm going to put him right there so it looks like he's running on the ground. Okay, now Kirby has a lot of costumes. Go to the costume tab and check out all these costumes. Okay, I want Kirby to flip through those costumes as the game's going along. So I'm going to get a forever loop. And then in the look circle, the 6th block down says next costume. Okay, let's see what it looks like now. Now see how it looks like Kirby's kind of running through that level? Remember, if you want to slow down how fast he flips through the costumes, you can go to the orange control circle and grab a weight block. And we could kind of slow that down. Maybe I'll do like a 0.02. And now he's flipping through his costumes a little slower. Okay, now I need Kirby to jump. So if you know how to build a jump code, you probably don't need this video any longer. But if you're not sure how to build a jump code, follow along with this next step, okay? You're going to need a green flag, a forever loop, and then underneath the forever loop, you have your if-then loop. And then the 2nd orange block down is a repeat loop. We need 2 of these, okay? We're going to stack those repeat loops on top of each other inside the if-then loop. Now, if your repeat loops are eating each other, kind of like that won't work for the code. So be very careful and make sure that they're stacked on top of each other. It kind of looks like 2 crocodile heads inside that if-then loop. Okay, now our code says if what, then repeat what? Well, I want to say if I press on the space bar, have Kirby move up and then fall back down. And that's going to look like a jump. So go to your sensing circle and grab the 7th block down, key space pressed. This is your jumping key. If you'd rather use your up arrow, you can switch it. Okay. Then let's go to our blue motion circle. And first off, let's grab the 5th block down that says go to X and Y. Stick that right underneath your green flag. So every time the game starts, Kirby's going to go to this exact position. Okay. Now, in Scratch, moving up and down is called changing Y. Moving side to side is called changing X. So since I'm building a jump code right now, I want to change Y. So scroll down to the bottom of the blue blocks and count up 7. You'll see change Y by 10. Bring out 2 of these, okay? They go inside each of the repeat loops. All right, test it out and see what happens. Turn your flag on and then hit that space bar and you'll see Kirby's now stuck up in the air. So he just followed our code. Our code says if the key space is pressed, change Y by 10, which means move up 10 steps, and then change Y by 10 again, which is moving up 10 more steps. We need him to fall down. So when you want a sprite to go down, you need a negative number. So change this bottom blue block to a -10. Okay, let's test it out now. Okay. All right. Now see how my Kirby's jumping up and down? If yours isn't working, just pause the video and double check your code with my code and see if anything's off. Okay. Now you can adjust these numbers. The bigger the repeat loop numbers, the slower the jump will be. So maybe I'll turn my repeat loops all the way up to like a 20. And then the numbers on the blue block control how high Kirby's going to go. So now my jump is a lot slower. Okay. And it looks like he's running through that level. Now I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, but you can have like the apple sprite and the ice cream. Maybe those are coming out from the right side of the screen and Kirby's trying to jump up and eat those. Maybe you've got some bad guys coming out that he has to jump over. There's so many different things you could do with this code. If you would like to see a full game, the code to make a full game like this, leave a comment on the video and I'd be happy to do that. But if you just wanted to use this to figure out some of your own projects, that's awesome too. All right, everybody, way to go. I hope I see you in a live class soon. If not, subscribe on our YouTube channel so you can keep up to date on our videos. We'll have some more classes coming out soon.